Danny Swift Garcia versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero. This is my post-fight video. Uh, I thought the I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was a close fight. Did I agree with the scorecards the judges had? From what I seen, no, I did not agree with the scorecards. I'll have to watch it again to get an even better scorecard when I score. But when you watch a fight for the first time, I don't have a pencil and paper. I'm just watching the fight as is live. But usually the second time around when you watch a fight, you see a little different stuff and you focus more on scoring round by round. But anyway, a fight as a whole, and just even like I thought it was a close fight. The rounds were close and the whole fight itself. But I disagree with the judges. Would I disagree if you told me Danny Garcia won because he did win? Was it a robbery? It wasn't a robbery, but the score was kind of a robbery. Like all the judges, all three had it the same: 8 rounds to 4 rounds for Garcia. In my opinion, if you had Danny Garcia, like winning by 1 or 2 rounds, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But when you have Danny winning, like what the judges had, 8 rounds to 4, like I said, I'm gonna watch it again. But from what I've seen, I don't think it was that one-sided. I thought you could have made an argument that Robert Guerrero won the fight by a point or two, and that wouldn't be a robbery either. If you had it a draw, I think a draw probably would have been the best decision to make in this fight. Because a lot of the rounds were close. Each fighter did different stuff, so whatever you liked, you would score it that way. Like if you were gonna score it for the few clean hard shots that Danny Garcia was landing in the rounds, then he would win the round. But if you're scoring on the activity of Robert Guerrero, the pushing, the action, the aggressor, landing good jabs, straight left hands, good body shots, just controlling the ring, making Danny move all over the place, applying the pressure. So if you score in that kind of sense, then Robert Guerrero won a lot of rounds. He threw a lot more punches. But according to CompuBox, Danny Garcia threw like 70 more punches. Or Showbox, or what do they use there? Punch Stats on NBC, they use Punch Stats, but same thing, CompuBox, Punch Stats, Showbox, whatever. They had Danny Garcia throwing 70 more punches. Like if you said, if CompuBox said that Danny Garcia landed more, I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe he did. But the fact that it showed him throwing more shows that the punch stats is all messed up and it's not very accurate. Because Robert Guerrero threw way more punches. It looked like he threw way more than 100 more punches than Danny Garcia, but it had Danny Garcia throwing almost 100 more punches. So I don't know how that was possible. It seemed to me that Robert Garcia Robert Guerrero threw way more punches. Now, did he land more? I don't know, but like I said, you can't go by punch stats and CompuBox. I stopped going by that for a while now. I think it's biased. I think it's very inaccurate in my opinion. It's a guy with a button clicking, and when guys are throwing punches so quickly, and how do you tell what one lands, what one doesn't? So I don't really know. I'm not a fan of that, of the punch stats. I don't go by that anymore. I don't go by the commentating. The commentating's so biased. HBO's biased. Showtime's commentating's biased, and so is NBC. PBC is biased too. Everything that Danny Garcia did, they praised. Except Keith Thurman was in the commentating crew, but he wasn't. He was keeping it more real. But all the other commentators, I don't even know if they commentate for boxing. Some of them, because they're like, oh, Danny Garcia's showing a new wrinkle in his game. I never see him back up like this. Lucas Matisse, he fought like that. He backed up. He wasn't pushing forward. So they didn't even know about that fight, it seems. Like I said, everything that Danny Garcia did, they praised. And when Robert Guerrero would land a good straight left hand, good body shots, good jabs, they wouldn't say shit. So commentating, don't go by that. It influences the casual viewer, though. If you're just watching the fight and you're not like an experienced watcher of boxing, you're not like, then you don't know what to look for, or you don't really know. Seeing the commentators say that is going to influence you. Seeing the punch stats as well is going to be like, oh, he really did win that fight. But no, you got to watch it with your two eyes. Who is landing more? Who is throwing more? Who is pushing the action? Who is applying the pressure? Who is running and not boxing? There's a difference between running and boxing. And Danny Garcia, for the first 6 rounds, was running a lot. He was using the movement, but he wasn't throwing enough punches. So when you're moving and you're not throwing punches, I call that running. But when you're moving and you're landing good shots, Danny Garcia started doing that later in the fight. So he did start boxing good later in the fight. But early in the fight, the first half of the fight, it was all Robert Guerrero, in my opinion. The activity, and he was landing more and throwing more. And he was pushing the action. But the second half of the fight, it was a different story. Robert Guerrero seemed to be getting tired. Danny Garcia did land a few good body shots in the first half of the fight, but I think he was getting tired. Like I said, he's getting older. Danny Garcia is the fresher fighter. And it seemed like he started getting tired, and Danny Garcia started to become more relaxed. Because at the start of the fight, he did seem too tense. Maybe because the feud between him and Guerrero, and like him and his dad. The dad's fighting, so they had pride on the line for their dads and all that. And I think Danny Garcia was too tense maybe about that. Like a real fight, too tense. He just needs to relax and box. It's not a street fight, it's a boxing match. Maybe he was just too tense, but he started getting more relaxed. Robert Guerrero started getting tired. Danny Garcia he controlled the second half of the fight, I would say, though. But Robert Guerrero, I don't know why I keep on saying Robert Garcia. Robert Guerrero obviously the second half of the fight, he lost the majority of the rounds in the second half of the fight, but the first half of the fight, he won the majority of the rounds. So you could argue it was a draw. You could argue that Danny Garcia won. I wouldn't have a problem with that if you thought Danny Garcia won by like 2 rounds. But to have him winning like 8 rounds to 4, I don't think I agree with that. Like I said, I'm going to watch it again, but a draw, I think, would have been the perfect decision, but it depends what you're looking for, like, in the fight, too. This fight was close a lot of the rounds because Danny Garcia was very inactive for a lot of the rounds, but he was landing the harder, clearer shots. When he threw it, he shook Robert Guerrero. I don't know why I keep on saying that, but yeah, he shook Robert Guerrero when he threw his shots. And Guerrero, his shots didn't really have that same power and snap, and they weren't as clean, but he did throw more and he did land more at the first half of the fight, I would say. So who do I think I won the fight? I thought it was a close fight. I thought it could win either way. Could have been a draw. Like I said, the first half of the fight, Robert Guerrero. Second half of the fight, Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia landed the harder, cleaner shots, but fewer. Robert Garcia was more active. He landed, I'd say, a lot more at the first half of the fight, and he was pushing the action and making Danny run around the ring a lot. So, and not box, run for the first half of the fight. So, like I said, close fight. Let me know what you guys think. Not a robbery, but the scorecards really, like, I hate when they do that in boxing, but like I said, it seems like they need to start scoring more draw rounds, I think, instead of having to score a round for each fighter, like a 10-9 round. Maybe they should start scoring 10-10 rounds, 9-9 rounds, whatever. Then we wouldn't have these lopsided scores. Because when you get a lot of close rounds, one guy favors this more. He's going to score all those close rounds for that one guy, and then you're going to get a lopsided score. So that happens a lot in boxing. It happened in the Canelo-Cotto fight. Canelo got awarded, he won that fight, but it was a lot closer fight than what the judges had it. Same with the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. The scores were a lot. I thought the fight was a lot closer than what the judges had it. I thought Pacquiao won the fight, but that was a close fight too. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think about the fight. My comments on the punch stats. What did you guys? Did you agree with the punch stats? Did you think the commentating was biased? Because we all know they want to make money off Danny Garcia. He's the undefeated fighter. He's the young fighter. He is going to make more money than Robert Guerrero is going to make at this point. Robert Guerrero is getting old. He's going to be on his way out. They want Danny to win. Before this fight before they stepped in the ring, they already picked the winner. They wanted Danny to win. As a business sense, they wanted Danny to win. So, and that's why you get the biased commentating. That's why you get the punch stats looking like that. That's why, yeah, that's just the way it is. Boxing's a business. Danny Garcia is going to make them a lot of money. Robert Guerrero is going to be on his way out. And so, you know what I mean? So, anyway, let me know what you guys think about the fight. I thought it was a good fight. You had Danny Garcia land that big right hand. I'm surprised Robert Guerrero didn't go down from that. That was really clean right hand that he landed. And Robert Guerrero just, you know, he's just a warrior, keeps on coming, and never gives up. So you got to respect Robert Guerrero, Danny Garcia. Like I said, if you have to pick who's the more skillful fighter, Danny Garcia is the more skillful fighter. But that doesn't, just because you're more skillful doesn't mean you're going to win the fight, because we know Robert Guerrero he's a warrior. He keeps on coming at you. And if you're very active and you're throwing more, pretty much if you're throwing a lot more, you're gonna end up landing more too. So, but skill wise, I'd say Danny Garcia is the better fighter, but that's not always going to be the winner though. So, so let me know what you guys think about the fight. And power boxing, powering down.